with head coach Matt Koziak. Good to be back home.
Absolutely, always good to be back home.
I'm going to be honest and upfront. Tough pill to swallow last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And after watching film, especially tough. But you know, if it winds up being an omen and it winds up working out for us, then maybe the loss was good for us. But you know, you always want to take the win, especially when you feel that you've outplayed your opponent. But really, what matters is the points on the scoreboard, which we didn't have enough of.
We talked about it last Monday on the show that probably statistically we beat him everything except for the most important thing on the board.
Correct.
Let's go back to the game last week. Biggest area of concern for you as you came into this week in preparation for another state-ranked team?
I think it's the little things, job assignments. You know, we did things that we don't usually do, like, you know, Moffitt doesn't usually fumble. He fumbled. Our blocking assignments on the perimeter were off. We were blocking guys we're not supposed to block. And so I think the details is what we need to work on. You know, as a whole, I thought at times we showed, you know, we scored on the first play of the game, so we know we're capable of doing stuff, but we've got to do the little things better.
Tell us a little bit about Caledonia, Coach.
Well, they're well coached. I mean, he's back and he won a state championship, you know, with them when he was at Caledonia, and so they're going to be physical. They got just a stud running back and a really shifty quarterback, and if we don't bottle them up, we're going to be in for, you know, it's going to be a track meet tonight. So they're going to try to run it. They're going to spread us out, but they're going to try to pound it and run it, and we've got to match our defensive intensity that we showed last week.
How was the week of practice?
Awesome. The kids, you know, they knew they let one slip away, and they've moved on. You know, we watched film, and they know what to correct, and we worked our tails off this week, and so we're ready to get this one under our belts.
I'm going to let you go and get that underneath. Good luck, Coach. Thank you very much. So, Nick, that was Mike. Come on in here a minute. Color analyst Mike Koziak. Mike, what do you take from what your brother just said real quick? Let's recap last week, bring it into this week real quick.
Well, I think the biggest thing was the fact that he said practice this week was awesome. I think one thing that separates football from every other sport, it's a practice game. That's why we only play one game a week. Every other sport you can usually play a couple. You just practice just to keep your technique and everything crisp. Football, it's practice and preparation. And we saw it two years ago. We won 4, lost 1, and we kind of crumbled. And it's good that we still have some guys on this team that were on that team, and they could keep the team, keep everything upbeat and the right pace and just the momentum going, and they're not going to break down.
Well, we're back home, Sailor Nation. Anxious to get this game going, see what happened in the past. It's behind us. So for Mike Cavs, this is Nick Davros. We're here at Sailor Stadium. Go Sailors. We are getting ready to begin our second home game of the season. Jake Dreamer, two-way player, football and soccer. Caledonia 5-2-2-2 formation. Dreamer's kick, high end overrun kick, is going to go down to about the 8-yard line where Caledonia will pick it up. That's number 10 for Caledonia. That's Tanner Christensen.
Yeah, outstanding job getting down there. And after an offside penalty on a kickoff, usually you see the line go a little slower than how they normally do because they definitely don't want to get another one. So it was, I mean, it took a great bounce, and it didn't, I mean, a bounce for us. And, you know, he could, their returner couldn't
Number
grab
5, Michael Smith, and number 12, Raphael Johnson on the tackle. So it's 1st and 10 Caledonia. Ball's going to be marked at the 12-yard line. Fake to the fullback. Got a little fly pattern down the middle. Cross, and it is broken up nicely on that incomplete pass. He had somebody down the middle to begin with, but I think the rush by the front four created a little problem for him.
There's an old saying, pressure breaks pipes. That's I hear that a lot around coaches that I know, and it's if you create pressure, he had a guy running, it looks like a post down the middle. He was open. He had a step. You could make that play, but because of the pressure, it forced the quarterback.
Kobe Burris on the defense there. Brings up a 2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line. It's a dive to the fullback, number 45. I believe that's David Woodrum. We'll check and see. Correction, it's number 21 in there. They replaced it. Jake Murphy.
Yeah, and that's more of what Caledonia wants to do. And that was actually, I think, them throwing the ball. They do throw the ball there, but they're not a real throw-heavy team. I think they're just trying to catch us off guard on first down.
Brings up a 3rd and 4 for Caledonia. Dive to the fullback again. Look, he's going to pick up maybe 3, might be a yard short, Mike.
Yeah, it's hard to tell at our angle. probably about a yard, maybe half a yard short.
Yep.
Probably call for a measurement.
Yeah. We saw in our JV game last night a very hurry-up offense. They were running plays that 15, 16 seconds. Kind of caught us a little bit, and we're seeing a little indication right now.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to kind of take it. We don't have a lot of players that play two-way, so it's not that big of a deal because we can get rest, but they want to wear you down.
Got trips to the bottom, a little motion back to the right. Back to the fullback again. He's going to pick up just two, tackled by the interior. Tippins, Bordeaux, the lineman on the tackle, along with Zach Hellman.
And it just looks like that. Almost those three plays almost look identical. They're just trying to just pound us up the gut.
Got a little different formation here where you got a halfback or possibly an H-back. He's lined up in between the tackle guard gap, and then you got twins to the outside a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like somebody might have moved, I think. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a procedure penalty on Caledonia.
So false start on Caledonia is going to move him back 5 yards.
You know, that's kind of what we want. If they're going to do a hurry up, kind of like how we do, but we just do it to get a look at their defense instead of to wear us down. But yeah, if you put them in second long and third long, that's what you can never
brings up a 2nd and 12. We got a little jet motion, quarterback keep. He's going to pick up. Oh, we'll make it 2 yards on that play. Kind of like the read option look out of the jet motion.
Jet read. We have a similar play to that out of a different formation, and I know Colby Wilson, their quarterback. That's where his strengths are is in his feet. He can throw the ball well, but he's definitely not a throwing quarterback. So I know the two biggest things we want to shut down is the quarterback's ability to run and their stud halfback Eddie Kelly.
He's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 now. Passing situation here. Little drag across the middle, wide open. That's number 13. And I tell you what, we caught a huge break with the player dragging across the middle. We don't have a number on number 13 here, but we'll see if we can get it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that. I don't know what happened with the coverage there. It looked like that was a drag across the middle, but yeah, we definitely got away with one to him falling.
He's lined up in the tight end position. So is a tight end drag across the middle. Brings up a 1st and 10. Ball's at the 36-yard line. A little sky motion, quarterback keep.
Nice.
And he's going to go no for it. He's going to lose about, we'll make it 3, possibly 4 yards.
And that's one thing that defensively, that the way you want to stop this, especially when they're running an option like that, is one player is responsible for the quarterback. And so you don't want to necessarily, that was Hellman on the stop, and he had the quarterback. So whether that quarterback was going to give it or keep it, he was going to get hit.
Zach Hellman on the tackle, probably responsible for the quarterback on the option. Yep. Interior people usually responsible. That's 41, the ball carrier. That's the big stud that they talked about. That's Logan Sewell. I was talking to Coach Slocum prior to the game. I said, hey, Coach, who are the kids we got to look at? Well, they got a stud fullback, number 41, that's just
Yeah, and I know they got a tailback number 6, and I haven't seen him in the game yet, and I know he's battling some injuries the past couple of weeks.
Little sky motion here, dive to the fullback again, and he is met by the wall, as we're going to call it, that interior line for Coach Slocum.
And that's
loss
great.
of about a yard, Mike.
That's a good bend but don't break. They got some good games, and some good movement on there, but we stopped them when it counted, and now it looks like we're going to get the ball back.
Yep, it's going to be a 4th and 4, so the Scots are in punting formation. Roberson deep for the Sailors. Little soccer style sick. This might be returnable if it takes a favorable bounce, and it does not. Caledonians will let the ball run to about. We'll make it it looks like it's 14-yard line.
Yeah. It's not, that's not the greatest field position, but at least we're not in the shadow of our goalpost. We don't have to worry about the short field in the back, the end zone. So I prefer to get it on the 20. That was actually a great punt by him. So
it's first down, Mona Shores, 4-year starter, Tyree Jackson. The verbal commit to Buffalo is your trigger man tonight, with Nunnery, Gavin Hunter, Simon Carl, Mason Hall, and Mike Bordeaux making up the interior line on offense. Little bubble screen out there to Boersma. Boersma around that left side. Boersma fumbles the ball, and it will be recovered by Caledonia. But there's a flag on the field at about the 17-yard line, so maybe a face mask.
hopefully.
We're going to see what this is, though.
It's more than likely holding.
Mona Shore, so Caledonia no doubt will decline the penalty, Mike.
Yep, exactly, and they'll get the ball back. If they would accept the penalty, yeah, it would push us back, but it would give us the ball. And
something that your brother just talked about in our pregame interview. Uncharacteristic. Now, this is Bournemouth's second fumble this season, too, because they had a fumble down on the far side at Rockford as well.
Yeah, and, it's just you got to see how we're going to bounce back from this. Realistically, Caledonia's probably going to walk away with at least 3 points if they have a good field goal kicker, so it's just how we're going to react to it.
1st and 10. Ball carrier's number 6. That's Eddie Kelly for Caledonia.
Yeah, he's their go-to. He runs downhill. He looks a lot bigger when you're next to him. I was watching him on the field before the game, and he looks bigger than what I originally remembered. But, yeah, that kid runs hard. He runs down the hill. He looks like a football player. Now
brings up a 2nd and 9. Tackled by the left side of the Coach Slocum defense. Off tackle by the fullback once again. Going to pick up about 2 more yards, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and be about a 3rd and 6 maybe.
Yeah, it looks about 3rd and 6.
Tippins on the tackle. Christian Boyd along with Shermetta and Blake Kramer.
Ooh, bad snap.
Quarterback with the keeps going to go around that left side. He's going to pick up the first down, and he scats out of bounds, run out of bounds by Colby Burris on that side.
Yeah, there was a questionable block on Caledonia on that right there right after where the ball went out of bounds, and it was a guy came back, and I'd have to see that in slow motion to see if that was a good hit or not. From up here, it looked like it was maybe a clipping or block in the back.
So it's a 1st and down Caledonia. A little motion to the right. Quarterback keep around that right side. They're seeing something. He's going to pick up about 1.
Yeah, and I think that's something you're going to see at Caledonia. They're not going to spread the ball around as far as who's going to touch it. I think they're probably going to keep, 3 or 4 guys are probably going to touch the ball. Probably usually 2 or 3 on a consistent basis, but they're going to mix up a little bit where they're going.
Burris and Michael Smith on the tackle. We got a score from Muskegon, 14-0 Muskegon over East Grand Rapids. We play Muskegon game 9, which potentially, there's a fumble on the play by the air and snap. Mona Shores is pointing that they've got it. We'll wait for the official call, and it is Mona Shores. So we get the gift back.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about saying something because they've had about 3 high snaps in a row, and eventually that was going to happen. And it's weird because last year they were under center and ran a lot of wishbone. This year now they're doing this shotgun stuff, and that's a big change when with your center and going from actually snapping to those shotgun snaps.
So Mona Shores takes over 1st and 10. Ball's going to be at the 18-yard line. Tyree Jackson on the keep or on the right side, picking up about 2 yards, brings up a 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it looks like he made a great read. Was taking it out, was going to cut up. It looks like he slipped a little bit when he cut, but still some good yardage.
Trip to the top. Boersma on the pitch, going around that left side. Boersma around that left side. He's going to pick up the first down and extra yardage. Nice to see Coach Koziak go back to Boersma pretty quick after the fumble.
Yeah, I was just going to say it was good to see him get the ball, and that's that play call. Yes, it's the option. He may not have got it. It all depends on the way the play unfolded, but he was involved. It was kind of Koziak's way of saying, hey, man, we still, it happened, no big deal. Everyone fumbles here and there, and it's good to see him build up his confidence.
So we got trips to the top. Little screen to the wideout, number 9, Matt Scheidemann, the senior.
Now, Caledonia's playing deep with their coverage, and they're coming up real fast because they know this is what we're doing. And even though that was a no gain, that's still a big play because we do a couple more there. Watch them keep coming up, keep sucking them in. We can go right over their head.
Kind of like a little pump and go action like that. Suck them in, suck them in. There's a slant across the number 6. Nice. That's Colby Burris on the slant, tripped up by number 34.
Really good route on Burris. He knew that he saw daylight. If he would have made it through that one guy, he would have been gone. And that was a great job on him, and he knew it too.
Joe Hubble on the tackle for the Scots brings up a 1st and 10. Ball's going to be at the 45-yard line. We got trips to the bottom. Little option pitch to number 4. Doris Roberson. And Doris, I owe you a big apology. I gave the first touchdown last week to Moffitt, and my friend, that was your touchdown, so please accept my apology. That was a heck of a run. I just want to give my props to that young man and his mother and father. So it brings up a 2nd and 1 after that 9-yard gain. Shemetta in for Moffitt. Correction, Shemetta in for Roberson at fullback. Dual back set for Coach Kozak. Shemetta with the ball carrier. Shemetta looks like he's going to pick up the first down.
Yeah, it's a great run. It looks like, I mean, if you're looking at Caledonia's defense, they run a 3-4, but their outside linebackers are moved up, so it's kind of like a
it's almost like a 50.
5-2.
Yeah, it's almost like a 5-2.
Yeah, and your defensive ends would actually be standing up in a 2-point, and they're pitching. And that's why we've gotten away with our pitches on the outside, because they're flying inside. They're really, especially running a 3-4 when you only have 3 down linemen, I would worry about the inside.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 35. A little out to Roberson. Roberson across the 30, across the 25, and we get a little deeper into Sailor territory.
Great job on Tyree with his check down. He was looking at Shemetta coming, on a looks like a slant, and it was like a slant bubble. And I saw him. He looked and he did a great check down.
First down, Mona Shores.
Dan Vandermine, longtime announcer, saying first down, Mona Shores. Ball's at the 24. That's Tyree Jackson along that right side. Tyree's going to pick up about 9. Yeah, we'll give him maybe 9. One official saying 9, maybe 8 yards. No, correction. It is a first down. One official said no. The other said yes. So we're going to give Tyree the first down. We're down to 4:08 here in the first quarter. Sailors deep into Scots territory. Coach Kozak changing up a little something, the play that he sees out of that base 3-4. Not sure if that was a broken play. He looked like he was going to the left for a quick out, maybe a quick screen.
Yeah, I think he was, and they had the outside linebacker kind of came upfield a little bit and got right in the passing lane. So that's smart. And I know Tyree really, he kind of, like I said earlier, kind of took that loss a little personal last week, and he really is come to play today.
2nd and 9. It's a pitch to Roberson. Roberson is almost through, down to about the 6-yard line. Tell you who we haven't seen touch the ball is Moffitt tonight.
Yeah, and
Moffitt
again,
hasn't gotten a touch
I think
yet.
it's because they're squeezing so much, and they saw what Moffitt did to Rockford last week, and Rockford ran a 3-4. So I think that's kind of what they really want to take away is him.
And Moffitt last week hit for 173 yards.
Yeah. So
there's Moffitt. Crosses it. There's our boy for the touchdown. DeAndre Moffitt picking up the 6 yards for the initial touchdown of the game.
And that's exactly it. They were pinching and trying to take Moffitt out just with their, what they were doing. We kept taking it outside and outside and outside. Well, it started. We weren't getting as many yards because you see they weren't pinching so hard. We went right up to Moffitt, and if you're going to have 1-to-1 on Moffitt, I'll take Moffitt any day of the week.
Mona Shores with the swinging gate back to the right here. Jake DeReamer with the attempt. Tyree Jackson with the hold.
Looks good to me.
Looks good. And with 3:13 remaining here in the first quarter, your score, Mona Shores 7, Caledonia 0. Mike and I will be right back. Well, we're back at Sailor Stadium on Youth Night 2014. Mike Kozak, Nick Davos here, 3:13 remaining. DeReamer's kick's going to go down to about the 15-yard line and roll out of bounds at about the 13, so there'll be a flag.
Yeah, I thought he was going to scoop it up for a second, which is what we wanted. But
we're going to see if Caledonia will make us re-kick. No, they're going to take the ball to the 35-yard line.
More than not, you'd want to take the ball because you never know what's going to happen as far as a kick.
And 35's not bad.
No, that's great field.
A third of the way up the field, a little less than a third of the way up the field. So the Scots will take over, 1st and 10. Ball's going to be marked on the far right hash at the 35-yard line. That's where Caledonia will take over, 1st and 10, 35. Coach Conrad led defense in their base 4-3. Sky motion, dive to the fullback. Cross that initial wave across the 42, about the 43-yard line.
And if you notice, Caledonia snaps are still just a touch higher than where they'd want it. I don't. It's kind of the wrong time to be able to fix it, you know, if you're Caledonia. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they miss another one here.
Well, I was talking to the guys up in a box last night during the freshman game. They said this is a new offense for them.
Yeah, last year they ran tight wishbone, and they'd come shotgun a little bit.
And so the snap's going to be a little bit different.
Yep.
We noticed it in the JV game as well as a freshman. So new offense, it's going to take a year to get it established.
Yeah, and it is. And I mean, coaches change their offense all the time. I'm a little curious on why they decided to.
3rd and 1. Number 6 looks like he's going to pick up the first down. The official's going to give it there. That's Eddie Kelly, the ball carrier.
Yeah, and Eddie
Prior
Kelly,
to the night's game last week, Caledonia was ranked number 3 in the state in Division II, where they got upset at Forest Hill Central.
Yep. Yeah, and Eddie Kelly, their stud, he's really kind of their workhorse, and he's been battling some injuries. I don't think he played at all in week 2, and he was his practice time was limited last week.
Little jet motion, read, fake to the running back. Quarterback's going to keep the ball on the keep.
He looked like that read took a longer time. Usually you don't want to ride past the hip, which means if the quarterback's got the ball, once it's beyond his body frame, he needs to give it whether it's the wrong read or not, because that's how fumbles cause. He led that a little too long and decided to keep it.
Well, he did gain 4 on the play, so it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Fake. 6, the ball carrier, Eddie Kelly. Tackled by number 10, that's Boersma, Christian Boyd, Tyler Tippins, all in on the tackle.
Yeah,
nonetheless, though, it is a first down for Caledonia. They've got a nice drive going themselves right now, Mike.
Yeah, and it's mostly Eddie Kelly. I think he's on this drive. He's averaging about 8 yards a touch. He runs downhill, and I think we need to start filling. We need to start popping him a little bit more and give him some tippy toes.
Little counter tray going here around that left side. Quarterback Kobe Wilson carrying the ball. I was talking to Hosey James at pregame dinner tonight, Mike, and one thing that he mentioned, that one of the things that he noticed during the game was our alignment defensively wasn't right a number of times. And I know Coach Conrad and Coach Slocum, along with Coach James being the defensive back coach, they worked on that real hard, because that's really an important thing as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Rockford's, if you come against teams that run tight, and if you're out of alignment a little bit, it's not that big of a deal because everybody's so tight anyway. But when a team like this that wants to spread the field and run like that, that's exactly what they're hoping for, that you're out of alignment.
Yep, that's Eddie Kelly, the ball carrier. Basically last week, I saw 3 basic plays for Rockford. It was a long trap, or the counter back. It was a short trap and a little pass. I mean, they really didn't do a lot that we've seen in years past. And you played against them when you were in the red.
Yeah, and I can't really remember. That was 14 years ago. I don't remember what their individual offense was, but yeah, but that's kind of what they do. They're not a fancy team. They just want to kind of pound you and play disciplined football.
Well, he certainly's got enough players over at Rockford.
Yeah.
So that was 2nd down. That was a first down play. We're at about 35 seconds and counting down. We'll get one more play in for Caledonia. 2nd and about. We'll make it 7 for the Scots. It's a high snap again. He quakes around left end. He's down to the 20, 15, knocked out of bounds at the 10. That's big Eddie Kelly. And again, Mike, you bring it up. That was a bad snap. They were lucky to get the handoff. Run out of bounds by Boersma.
I'm impressed how quick that quarterback is doing this, because he's a shorter guy. He's almost got to jump for it, and by the time he's back on the ground, his handoff is right there. He's got to give it right now.
So what do you do? How do you correct it? Do you move him back to compensate? You really can't do that, because that changes the timing of the play.
Yeah, that changes everything. You just got to kind of get with your center and say, keep it down.
If the center doesn't play defense, you might want to get him on the sideline and get 15, 20
snaps. Yeah, definitely.
Snaps.
That's exactly what I would do. If he doesn't play defense, and I'm not exactly sure, even if the quarterback, number 15, even if he doesn't play if he plays defense, it's not that bad. You can just put somebody else in to catch him. But you want to have somebody the same height because that last one before that whistle blew, that was over his head.
The flag on the play is against Mona Shores. I didn't see what it was. Did you?
It said it lined up in the neutral zone, which is really hard to see here.
Yeah, so it's encroachment by the Coach Conrad-led defense. Probably somebody on the defensive line, so it's going to bring 1st and goal. Ball's going to be at the 3-yard line. We're down to 22.9 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Fake to the fullback, and the quarterback walks into the end zone. That 15, Colby Wilson, untouched. Blown assignment on that for sure.
Yeah, the defensive end has got he's squeezed on that actually, and he's just he wants to pinch a little bit and stay put for that boot. He tried following the dive back, and he wasn't. I mean, where he lines up, he's not going to get him anyway. So
and basically the dive back would be your 2 tackles and your Mike backer.
Yeah.
The end's got the quarterback. Your outside backer's got pitch man. I
exactly.
mean, it's a well-defined scheme, but if one person screws up, it's a touchdown.
And it's as simple as just turning your hips.
Exactly.
You want to hit, strike, and then kind of squeeze a little bit, but you want to keep your hips parallel with the line of scrimmage. And as soon as you turn your hips inside, that quarterback's bouncing outside. And by the time you get your hips back around, he's behind you.
And there's a high end over end kick. Looks like it's going in and out of the end zone.
Wow.
Kicking off number 16, that's Austin Wardos. So, Mike, what do we do?
Do you punch them in the face? They punch you in the face. If we punch them again, we're just going to have a street fight here, and it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Moffitt, the ball carrier, and he's going to lose about 2 on that play. Offensive line for Mona Shores is going to be number 56, Justin Nunnery. 72, Gavin Hunter. 64 is Simon Carl. Your right tackle is Mason Hall, number 56. And 72, two-year starter, is Big Mike Bordeaux. So that's the end of the first quarter. We are knotted up here at Youth Night at Saylor Stadium. Your score is 7-7. We'll be right back. Mike Kozak, Nick Davros back here at the start of the second quarter. Saylor, 2nd and 12. Ball's at the 18. Little slant to Burris. Burris makes that nice catch, and we've got a flag. Looks like it's probably going to be a face mask. We'll wait for the officials to sort it out and give us a signal here.
Yeah, it's pretty sure it's face mask. I can see it.
Trips to the top. Split to the bottom. Moffitt, the lone back. Option to Moffitt. Moffitt crosses the 50 down to the 40 and run out of bounds at about the 32-yard line of Caledonia.
And you can see Moffitt covering the ball. As soon as he's about to take a hit, he covers the ball with both hands and just keeps on trucking. He does not. He refuses to let what happened last week happen again.
Because he tackled it down at the 5-yard, and that was a heartbreaker. That young man just played the game of his life. Yeah. And, they ran the option to the short side of the field, toward the boundary instead of the wide side, field side.
Yep. Well, they're just loading the wide side with players.
Same play again, this time going to the slot. Boersma to the boundary once again. Out of that motion look, he's going to pick up about 2. Brings up a 2nd and 8, Mike. Obviously, your brother sees something going to the boundary.
Yeah, and it's just, especially when we go trips or even doubles or twins over there, they're just rolling their secondary over there, and it's just if we can get through that linebacking core, we're gone on that boundary side.
Little counter back. That Roberson looks like 10, 5, touchdown on the slot counter. Darius Roberson. God, what a nice acquisition from Orchard View.
Yeah.
Broke 1 tackle.
Well, that's exactly kind of what we were just saying too. They're loading the wide side of the field. We ran almost like a reverse or end around, it looked like, and they were just out of position. And that's one thing with the way that their defense is running at 3-4, they are very aggressive, and we're gonna have to take away from some of that aggressiveness. Maybe, I don't know if he put in any screens or anything this week. Yeah, good.
DeReamer, the kick, and it's good. Holding Tyree Jackson. So 46 seconds into the second quarter. Your Sailors have scored again. The score is now Mona Shores 14, Caledonia 7. Mike.
But yeah, that's kind of what Caledonia does. They're just methodical. What we were talking about earlier, they're kind of a power running personnel with a spread offense, and it's because their quarterback is very shifty. I think they're trying to get him in the game a little bit more.
Jake DeReamer's kick, high end over in the kick, taking down that to 2. He runs back to the 1, across the 10, 15-yard line, tackled by that interior of Coach James' special teams unit.
Yeah, it was good kick, good coverage. That kick should have went in the end zone. That was actually going to go in the end zone, but he decided to take it. Not what I would have done. He got to the 15, but if he just would have let that go in the end zone.
Yep, Control Eason on the tackle. 21 Spencer Stubbe and Eric Wilson on the tackle. All juniors coming back. So it'll be 1st and 10. Ball is going to be marked at the 15-yard line as Caledonia's initial drive here of the second quarter begins. Jet motion, read option, flag on the play immediately. Most likely procedure against Caledonia, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know why they let the play run. Usually procedure penalties, you blow the whistle and it's a dead ball.
Yeah.
Unless it was like 2-men in motion.
They're talking with Mona Shore's defensive coordinator, Noah Dykstra, 2-year starter. No, mom and dad really got to be pleased with Noah. I tell you, Noah's a great kid, great family. Dad, longtime friend, and enjoy working with him. Mom is a cheerleading coach here, Shelly. Jason on the phones down there, working the equipment, doing a lot of film for Coach Koziak. Fake to the fullback, little fly pattern down the middle, well overthrown, well covered.
Yeah, he was open. It almost looked like it was almost a double move. I think just
Tyler Trobinger on the coverage.
Skinny post, but he looks like he kind of shook a little too much. We were just playing off him. It was great break on Trobinger, and it's
yesterday as we're coming off the field after pregame. Tyler Trobinger was on the field. He just hurt as could be. It looked like it was an ankle sprain, but good to see Tyler back in action. Trav, as he's known as. A little sky motion gives to the fullback along that left side, and he's going to go nowhere. Picks up maybe 2 on the play.
And that's a big stop because Caledonia's quarterback, Colby Wilson, he can throw, but that's not really – he's more of a small running back in a quarterback position. He doesn't –
It's not really his forte.
No, yeah, he's not really a throwing quarterback. You can see how he overthrew a wide-open man on the
So it's going to bring a 3rd and 14. Might see a little counter, might see a little screen. Most likely, we're probably going to see a run out of the sky motion, fake to the fullback, sweep down the middle, and he was beat. That pass was on the money, just out of the outstretched hands of Bailey Kinser.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that was a little quick, almost a dump pass, but I don't know if we bid on the play action, which I don't know why we would. I mean, who cares if they run 15-yard runs? That'd be impressive to see. You know, it's a passing down, so. I think we kind of got lucky on that.
So Caledonia back in punt formation. Soccer style. It may have been tipped a little bit by the interior because that ball has gone all of about 8 yards. So somebody for the interior might have gotten a hand on it, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't. It's right out of my field of view. I didn't see it when it happened, but we're lucky because that thing went straight in the air, and I didn't hear anybody yelling. You yell Peter or
Peter,
fire,
something to get out of the way because if it hits it,
players just kind of trot down there waiting for the returner to catch it, and it almost hit one of them. And if it would have, Caledonia recovers. It's their ball.
Well, it's going to give Sailors excellent field. There's a 4-down territory, 1st and 10s, balls at the 22-yard line. Base formation, twins to the top and bottom. Roberson, the ball carrier, is going to pick up about, we'll make it 3.5 at the most. Tackled by the left side of Caledonia, number 4, Trent Foreman, number 11, John Neese.
Yeah, we're still running the bubbles like this, and then we've been running slants. It's pretty much the deepest play that we've run. I would be, especially if we get a score here, we get the ball back second half. I'd say is probably go something deep into the outside because they're really not. They're firing up so fast. They're really not paying any attention.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 on that 4th down. Moffitt, the fake to Moffitt. Tyree Jackson, the ball carrier, and nice faking it, but Tyree's got to put his head down. He's running east and west instead of north and south here.
Yeah, and I think he was just trying to get outside of that first guy.
And that guy kind of held him up just long enough for another one to come in, but he fought for it. It was a real good read.
Good read, yep. So it's going to bring out a 3rd and 4. Fake Jackson on the keep. There we go, running north and south. Boy, that's going to be real close for a measurement. One official looks like he's going to give it to him.
I think they got it by about a yard.
We're going to bring the chains out. Are we? No, we're not. First down, Motor Shores, Jackson on the keep.
So that's the
tie read that we wanted. Yeah.
Midline right up the middle. It's still a read option, so there was usually 90% of those plays that always is a quarterback. But he just comes up and falls forward. He's 3 yards long, so.
Moffitt the ball carrier. Moffitt hard running down to about the 5, maybe the 4. So the play before that was probably the outside veer. Read option probably.
The first down?
No. The one before the first down where it was kind of running a little bit more east and west.
Yeah.
So the midline, yeah. And that seems to be Tyree's forte, fake to the full, tuck it behind the
especially with a fullback like Moffitt.
Whoa, geez, with Moffitt, absolutely. Pick up about 6. Tyree going to go outside. He's going to lose maybe about 1. He's going to lose about 1. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 5 with 7:53 and counting down here at Salem on youth night.
I think there was some miscommunication on that play before. It looked like Coach Koziak, something he must have called, probably a motion that he called that Tyree didn't check into or something. There was some sort of miscommunication on that because Koziak wasn't very pleased.
Blake Kramer coming out, and Hunter Boersma goes in for Blake, the senior. Fullback, Will linebacker. Just a wonderful kid, too. Had a chance to work with his mother and father, and just a super kid. There's the slant.
Touchdown.
Completed to number 6. Let me guess, Kobe Burris on the catch and the touchdown.
I mean, Tyree is throwing darts. He's putting them right where he needs to, and he's putting a little whip on it, too. And Burris is just catching it. Great job on him. He caught it, tucked his head, and just fell forward into the end zone. Great job.
He's throwing it on a tightrope tonight, yeah. I'll tell you. Jake DeReamer in for the PAT attempt. It's a bad snap. We're going to go fire on something like that, but it goes errant and nowhere. 7:21 here in the second quarter. Your score now. Sailors comfortably up by 13. The score 20-7. Mike Koziak, Nick Davros here. Press box, Sailors Stadium, where your Sailors have just gone ahead 20-7 on the dart from Tyree Jackson to Colby Burris. Mike, you made the question that looks like a different Tyree tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's just the kind of kid he is. And like I said earlier, he's just been putting the time in this week.
Well, there's something we didn't want to see right there. I'll tell you what. As we're talking, a long run by Caledonia up the middle. Gives them a really good field position. Ball is going to be marked at around the 47-yard line. But getting back to Kobe. Kobe just looks really polished tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Tyree's almost just putting him right in his face mask. And he's catching him no problem.
Kobe might be the favorite receiver tonight. Sometimes quarterbacks have a favorite receiver who they're just, it depends what the defense is given. Well, the ball carrier going around that left side. That's Bryce Christensen, nearly tackled for a loss.
Yeah, like what you were saying about favorite receivers, it's just nice to have those outside receivers that like that. I mean, you saw last year we had the great slots, and we had Logan Smith and Asante Brown on the outside, which was very nice. So 2 new outside guys now. Those are probably the guys that are going to take deep ones, and long ones. Usually the inside slots are taking 2-yard passes and trying to take them deep. So I know, Tyree really wants to connect with those guys.
2nd and 5, gives to the fullback. He breaks through that first level, tackled by the linebackers. That's number 6, Big Eddie Kelly. That kid's a stud. I'll tell you what, boy, he's a hard runner, kid.
It's going to take downhill hard to take him down.
Moffitt, Dykstra, and Kramer all in on the tackle in that second plateau. Brings up a 1st and 10 ball at the Sailor 42. Kelly, the ball carrier again. Kid will get 25, 30 carries a night probably.
Yeah, and that's usually what he does. And I remember last year he was, playing these guys. He was a big factor for Caledonia. And, The injury thing is where I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with him. As a defense, you just kind of want to give him shots. You don't want to do anything cheap or dirty, but you just want to kind of hit him, rattle his cage a little bit.
That's a 2nd and 7 for Caledonia. High little snap. Kelly, your ball carrier again, crosses that right side. Going to pick up about 1, Mike. Again, another high snap, Mike, something that you've alluded to multiple times tonight.
Every one of these snaps, I'm just waiting for it to go over his head. Especially, I mean, what if it happened right now? As a coach, if that happened right now on a 3rd and intermediate and it goes over his head and goes back 20 yards to the 40, and now you're punting from a horrible position, that can be a nightmare.
Kelly, the ball carrier, again, tackled by that interior, picks up about 2. I got Zach Hellman, Tyler Tippins, Mike Bordeaux, and Christian Boyd.
Yeah.
That whole interior in on the tackle.
You know, that's what it's going to take to bring a guy like him down. Looks like they're probably going to wind up going for it here, which I would expect. I mean, that's probably what I would do.
It's going to bring a 4th and 2, Mike, and I got to think you got to go for it.
Yeah, especially like keeping Kelly back in there. To Eddie Kelly right up the middle and let him power through, or it's going to be a fake to him. And I'd say the quarterback's going to keep it. Oh, pass, wow.
Little pass out to the outside, and he is
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Well, there's
very
a questionable
gutsy call.
Questionable call on that
I don't
one.
know if I would have done that. Like I was saying, you'd give. I mean, Eddie Kelly's been averaging. He's averaging 5-6 yards.
Myself, baby.
Yeah.
The horse take the horse to the trough and let him drink, but. Nonetheless, hey, you know what? We'll take the bad call.
Yeah, all day long.
We'll take that call. Very questionable.
And I think he was trying to catch us off guard.
Just before the time, during the timeout, hey, we got 4:42 remaining. Here's a chance to put the nail in the coffin. Right
yeah, and I think, especially even if it goes into halftime 27, I think the big thing was stopping Caledonia from scoring on that drive. We're up 2 scores. If we can get another.
Boersma crossing that line of scrimmage. Picks up about, we'll call it 6. Ball's going to be at the 40-yard line. The official on the far side is marking. Boy, Boersma took a shot that time, boy.
Yeah, and he bounced right off it and got another 1 or 2. But kind of where I was going at, if we can get another score here, yeah, you're going to force Caledonia to start throwing the ball, and that's not.
Tyree stumbled a little bit after the fake to Moffitt, but does pick up the 1st down.
That's interesting because I don't know if Tyree put the ball on the ground to keep himself up. If you use the ball to keep yourself up, that you're supposed to be down. I didn't. There was a player in the way.
I did not know that. I thought the body had the touching on versus the ball. So is the ball part of the body then?
Well, no. It's just one of those it's to avoid trick plays and everything. And you could take a knee just by putting the ball on the ground.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So we got trips to the top, split to the bottom. 4 minutes remaining here. It's 1st and 10. Ball's at the 47. There's that slant against to Colby. And here's an example. Colby misses the ball, almost gets intercepted. Colby plays defender, pushing the ball, and get in and out of the hands.
Well, I think that's probably
interception.
That's probably the 5th time that we ran that play.
Yeah,
and,
you think?
And it's we've run it for 2 reasons. 1, it's working. 2, and most importantly, we're sucking that corner in. He's going to start playing inside, and we're going to start running outside.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 10. Ball back at the 47. Tyree to the fake to Moffitt.
Got a flag down.
Picks up the 1st down, but we have some laundry down at about the 47. Probably going to come back, Mike, to hold it.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone's allowed to have a bad day, and he just had one. And there was so many other things that we could have done to help him out.
We're on the right side across the 50.
He's gone.
40, 30, 20, down to about the 20-yard line where he's run up. They're going to mark him down to the 21-yard line on the option to the right side.
And that's a great call by Koziak, because even I was thinking he'd probably throw the ball for a 10-yard gain or so to make it a 3rd and manageable, but he decided to run it, catch him off guard. And with our slots, our speed, we can bust those
outside
ones.
Outside veer running to protection.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring down. We're down to 3:30, Mike, here in the 2nd quarter until half. 1st and 10, balls down to about the 22-yard line. Again, plenty of time.
Yeah, we still got 3 timeouts.
Still got 3 timeouts remaining. We got trips to the left, split to the top. Moffitt, your fullback. Fake to Moffitt. Jackson around that right side. He's going to pick up about 4.
And that's a fine run. I mean, we don't need to hit home runs all day long, especially with the time left. And one thing, if you hurry up and score with 3 minutes left, they get the ball back. They have the ability. That's enough time for them to do something, and that's definitely what you don't want, especially since we get the ball back. We can run out the clock, get some points, and to halftime we get the ball back in the second half.
Little bubble screen out to Roberson. Roberson across the 10, run out of bounds at about the 7-yard line.
You know, and that was great on Roberson too. Burris, he's been playing his butt off, even blocking. He had a great block on there, and Roberson bounced it outside because he knew, all right, I'm going to get a couple yards and then probably get hit out of bounds, stop the clock.
So it is a first down, Mona Shores. Ball's down at the 7-yard line. We are in the red zone, and it's appropriately called. Here's where we struggled last week, Mike. Red zone offense. I talked to Coach about that. Faked him off at Tyree carried the ball.
Nice!
Tyree is touchdown. Yeah. Tyree Jackson hitting the pylon and scoring.
And that's awesome. And that's one of the things that he's understanding, that he's 6 feet tall. He's 6'4".
And listen, at 6'5", 210,
yeah,
it's a lot of body flying.
Yeah, and he's 1 yard away. He can either fall forward or he can try to just jump and reach and put his arms out. And he's 3 yards tall. So outstanding job. I love the effort. And I told you, he was playing. He's got something. He's got something building inside of him that he's just.
Well, there's a little switch. Mona Shores doesn't break the gate or doesn't open the swinging gate. They go for the 2-point conversion to Dyksha, but it's no good. But there's a late flag that was thrown down at the 1-yard line, so we're going to have to sort this out a minute.
Yeah.
Casey, we'll see what's going to go on. Why don't we stay here a minute, bud?
Yeah, and I think that was Koziak, because you see a lot of teams do the swinging gate stuff, and even sometimes I roll my eyes when we do it because everyone's ready for it. It's one you put it in because it's something else that the opposing team can.
Getting ready to kick off, and we are underway again. Ball rolling out of bounds at about the 30. No, we'll make it 28-yard line. It's a flag on the play, so it'll be Caledonia's ball. It's being assessed. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
Twins to the top. Tight end. And as you said, little pass. Nice. A little curl.
Way to come up. And again, I think that was
Burris
Kobe
on the tackle from his safety spot.
He's playing his tail off tonight.
Yeah,
I love it.
Good game tonight.
And I love it because we're seeing, one thing we're seeing about this team is how balanced they are. Last week we were saying Moffitt's running with a passion. Now Tyree and Burris are just having a great night. Hunter had a great game against Celine. We're not seeing the same player over and over again, and that's a good thing. We have plenty of playmakers that if the opposing team tries to shut down one person, we can go back with somebody else. And even Hunter's still having a great night. I mean, all these other players are still having good nights, but
exactly.
You're not seeing the same players stand out every week.
The ball carrier. Smith on the tackle, along with Zach Hellman. Kelly, the ball carrier, off that left side.
I think Caledonia was trying to throw one first down and then, we'll just run twice to pick up the first down. I think that looks like it's kind of what he's got in mind. I'd go for it if I was him. Just because you got to give your guys a shot.
Caledonia running no huddle, hurry up offense now, picking up the pace a little, trying to get one in just before halftime.
I bet you they'll run it this time instead of throw it like they did last time. Probably right to number 6.
Number 6, the big fullback, Kelly trying to pick the ball. I think
he
might be a little short on that 4th down carry, which is going to change if he doesn't get it. And he did. We got 2:42 remaining and all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and I bet you my brother's going to go right after him. I would too. I mean,
So get in your brother's head a minute. We go deep right away to trying to sting him hard.
I don't know. See, I would, but I don't know.
I would too. They're down. They're dejected. I mean, the game.
Their heads are down right now because of that.
Exactly.
You might. Yeah, I would. He might.
Stop. So it's 1st and 10. Ball's at the 42-yard line. Moffitt runs the outside veer, and we got Laundry being thrown.
More than likely holding on the outside. I didn't see it, but just where
I didn't see it either.
Just the time when it was thrown and where it's thrown.
And I think it's the split end that had, because it was thrown way out here versus in the middle where the line is.
Yeah.
And it was a later one. Usually if it's an interior, it's pretty quick. This one, we were waiting a little bit.
Yeah, it's just
holding offense. Yep. Yeah. So we're going to go back 10. So it's going to bring down a 1st and 20. Ball's going to be marked back at the 34-yard line.
See, I think with that call, I think Koziak's just trying to make sure that Caledonia doesn't get the ball again.
Bubble screen, incomplete to number 10, Borsma. But he got some heat on that time.
Well, Tyree got hit as he threw.
Yeah, number 83, Nick Adams,
our passing
coming
game
in
is
from
so
his
quick.
right defensive end, really like a little wood.
Yeah, our passing game is so quick, and that's to help alleviate that, sacks and hits on the quarterback. It's usually just 1, 2, go, throw.
So mis-blocking assignment at will there,
Yeah,
too.
it must have been.
Usually it's a fullback picking it up on the block right there, so it's going to bring up a 2nd and 17. Moffitt, the carrier, going to go nowhere, going over that left side. Gavin Hunter, left tackle. Big Justin Nunnery, 6'4", 200 pounds, senior. But the whole offensive line is a senior except for Big Mike Bordeaux. So we may be content just to go in with the lead, Mike.
Well,
I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you.
No, I think he'll try to do something here. Nothing fancy. I think he'll just do I think he'll take a shot at it, but he's definitely letting most of the clock run. So if
well, we're
Caledonia
under
doesn't
1
get the ball
minute.
back.
Got a little fade to Burrs. Errant pass ball well out of bounds to Kobe Burrs. So it's going to bring up 4th down to be a punting situation. Tyree Jackson, this year's punter. First punt of the game for Mona Shores, Mike.
Yeah, you still are happy with what we have right now, going into the lead. And with the lead, especially this big, you'd love to get another one right there. But yeah, your main concern was if Caledonia was to get the ball back to make sure they had minimal time. They're going to throw the ball. If they have any chance on scoring, they're going to throw the ball. Oosh.
Jackson, low line drive, going to take a good sailor bounce inside the 20 down to the 19, 18-yard line. There it's down. So with 39.6 seconds remaining, Mike, it will be Caledonia ball.
Yeah, and like I said, you're going to see them throw the ball. They may try to do a draw or something to catch us off guard and get a big chunk, maybe. Hopefully, I don't know how Caledonia's kicking game is as far as their field goal. Their kicker looks like he's got a leg, so maybe just hope to get in field goal range and just get some points going with some reason to be
happy,
optimistic,
optimistic possibly. Little motion to the left, gives it to the fullback, fakes to the fullback. Quarterback's going to carry the ball. He's across the 20 down to about the 24-yard line.
Travinger came up and stuck him.
Yes, Travinger out of his safety position. 1:46 here remaining until, 29.8 seconds remaining here until halftime. Caledonia with the ball. Fumble. It looks like Mona Shores is going to get the ball back. Quarterback looked like he was diving after. It is Mona Shores' ball. 25.8 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts.
Now you go for the dagger.
Now you go for the dagger, don't you? What we needed, what they didn't need, Mike.
Yeah, and that snap. Oh, no, that was on the exchange. I don't know.
One of their better snaps of the night.
I know.
It was just a bad match.
Yeah. But yeah, you gotta.
All right, Mike. I'm putting the dagger in. I don't know about you, but now's the time to put the dagger in.
Yeah, if he doesn't, I'll yell at him.
There we go.
That's fine.
That's it.
Does he get out of bounds?
Roberson, and he stops the clock. Still, Sailors with 2 timeouts remaining, 20.9 seconds remaining.
That's fine. You gave him room to run. You got him in space, and if need be, he ran out of bounds. That's not a bad call.
Ball's down, marked at about
2nd down and a very short 1.
2nd and 1. Ball's marked at the 12-yard line. Oh my God! I don't know if I saw that. Tyree was in the arms.
That wasn't designed. That play was designed.
All right, fill me in.
It was a choice, and I could see it because you could see Tyree was looking at him the whole time, and that's what it was. It was kind of like taking play action a step further instead of action and throw. It's more action, run and throw.
Yeah.
He would have the choice to keep running if it was open.
Okay.
But you had that bubble there as kind of a
so it's a
safety
3rd
valve.
and 1. Probably pound it to Moffitt, maybe. Nope. Incomplete. So it's going to be a 4th and 1. Pass for Kobe Burrs there. See, here's where I think I pound Moffitt, get the first down, and call a timeout with 13 seconds. You got 2 timeouts left.
Yeah.
Don't you need to get the first down, though?
They're shooting T-shirts at us.
Let's get fired up, Sailor fans. On your feet.
I thought somebody fell for
No,
God's sake.
I knew they were shooting T-shirts and they shot right at us.
Cross the middle. Oh, what do we know? We went for the touchdown.
And I tell you, that was probably the best pass I've seen Tyree throw in his entire career.
Touchdown.
Oh my
Hunter
goodness.
Boersma.
He put a little
so
touch
forget
on
going
it.
for the first down. He just went
Well, I
for the
told you that's why I'm
jugular.
not a head coach. I don't know what I'm doing.
Great call, great touchdown. Nice to see
Oh.
Hunter get a touchdown
Yeah.
after the fumble in the first
Oh
quarter.
my goodness, I am so impressed with that ball because we know Tyree's got the strength. We know he can throw it deep, but that was an intermediate pass that he put air under it.
And between two defenders. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
like
was
he was
right
wide
there.
open. DeReamer with the PAT is good. So with 9.8 seconds remaining, I'm afraid the nail in the coffin has just been pounded. Your score is now Mona Shores 33, Caledonia 7. Jake DeReamer kicking off with 9.8 seconds remaining here. Ball's going to bounce at the 10. Picked up by Caledonia across the 20.
That's not.
25,
That's like the one thing
40,
you can't let him do.
45 down to the 50 into Sailor territory. With 1.4 seconds remaining.
You can't. I mean, we're lucky that there's only 1 second because, like I said, when that was a big play, and if you would have housed that for 6, that gives
Well,
them
just
a big chunk of
big lift
momentum.
and negates a great touchdown pass and catch by from Jackson to Boersma.
Right now, I put four to. I try.
I'd play
I don't know if he's
quarters.
got like a nickel.
I'd line him up back at the 20. Move my linebackers back 15.
Yeah, let him catch anything in front of me.
Just keep everything in front of you.
Oh,
Pass to
different
the outside,
quarterback,
and that's going to be it. So with that pass, we've come to halftime. And a great halftime it is. Mike's going to go down into the locker room. I'm going to stay up here to find out what the penalty was. So your halftime score, Mona Shores 33, Caledonia 7. We'll be right back. Nick Davros, Mike Kozak, we're back at you at Sailor Stadium, and we are underway in the second quarter. Little onside kick taken by that front line of Hosey James special teams kickoff receive team. So Mike, fill me in on halftime, buddy. What are we going to see?
Well, offensively they're pleased. Defensively they're pleased. I didn't get a chance. They break up so much. I didn't get a chance to hear most of what they're going to do defensively. Offensively, they want to get their interior running game going a little bit. Caledonia is kind of shifting from their 3-4 to like a 3-3-5. They're moving one of those backers almost to play safety. You'll probably see a lot of that. I know they want to get Moffitt involved big time.
Well, there's Moffitt, the carrier, along that right side. On a little sweep, he's going to pick up. I'm looking at the picture. He's going to pick up about 8, bring up a 2nd and 2. You know, I was listening to Dan Vandermite announce all these little football players. My God, it was like an army of kids. That guy's voice is going to be tired, but I'll tell you, Dan does a great job. Last score we got from Muskegon Hackley Stadium at halftime was Muskegon 14, East Grand Rapids 0. Muskegon on the docket for game number 9 at Hackley Stadium, a game that potentially could come down to a OK Black
That's what we want, really.
showdown for the conference championship if things go the way that we hope they do for the remainder of the season.
Looks like there was an offensive face mask on that last play.
Got a flag on the play. Play's going to come back, so it's going to be 1st and 11. Motion, Roberson on the jet sweep along that right side, and he's going to lose about 3. Murphy on the tackle for Caledonia, Jake Murphy.
You know, I know you'll probably see Shores come out into like a shotgun and do some kind of jet reads and zone reads out of that because of the way. I mean, you got to think the way Caledonia is doing. Even right now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the defensive backfield, which means they only got. Oh, they see.
But get back to the line of scrimmage. Moffitt the ball carrier, so it's going to bring a 3rd and long for Coach Kozak's offense. Going to bring him about a 3rd, and we'll make it 10.
Yeah, and I know they want to get running because Caledonia was only coming up with a 6-man front because they're really worried about our perimeter and about our passing game. Now they're up front, they're playing well, Oh.
Errant pass going for Roberson, thinking the pass was going to be inside shoulder, and Tyree throws it outside. So we're going to see the second punt of the game for the Sailors tonight, Mike.
Yeah.
Boy, the penalty really hurt.
It did, because we got, I mean, right off the gate, Moffitt had a nice, I think 9-yard run. And it was just one of those aggressive penalties.
Mike, what do we got down there on the field here, buddy?
Oh, it looks like
it's on the track. It's a robotics class, and they got something. Casey, can you get a shot of that down there a minute?
It's a T-shirt cannon. They were shooting T-shirts up in the stands all day. And I think one of them actually came all the way up to our press box and hit the window.
God, I thought somebody fell off the press box.
I know, it sounded
right
like
there.
it. That thing's got some power to it.
So we just heard a score, Muskegon 21, East Grand Rapids 0 halftime. Here it's 33-7, Mona Shores, 10:22 remaining. Caledonia with the ball. Kelly, the ball carrier, with the power off that right tackle.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I think. I think they might go a little faster, hurry up, but I wouldn't. They need to get a score, and I think they should stick within their game plan and not abandon
Tippins
it yet.
and Blake Kramer on the tackle. Will linebacker, Blake Kramer, senior. Kelly, the ball carrier again.
Now, if you notice, Caledonia's got a different quarterback in. They got number 10, Tanner Christian in. I don't know if that's because Colby Wilson is hurt, because he did take a shot, I think, their last drive when I think Trovinger came up.
And you had mentioned something prior to the game that he's been nursing an injury.
I think, or it could be that Tanner Christian's a better thrower, and if that case, you should see Colby Wilson get in some other aspect of the game if he's such a good athlete.
Well, one thing I've noticed now, the 3 snaps, so the snaps are better. I bet you they worked on those a little bit.
Oh, I bet you they did.
Outside a little bit during the halftime.
Yeah,
that was breaking up the timing a little bit, yeah. So we got the cannon, the T-shirt cannon firing up the crowd here on Youth Night. 3rd and 3, ball's at the 41. Flag on the play. Thrown by the back judge, most likely going to be against Caledonia.
Yeah, illegal shift.
Illegal shift on Caledonia, so it's going to be moved back 5 yards. Thank you, Don, as always, buddy. And we're going to give you a little bit more props as the game goes on. Passing situation for Caledonia on the 3rd and 8. He's got all day. The throw receiver comes back for the pass, and it looks like the official says
I can't believe he caught
Christensen
that.
to the completion. Michael Andrusiak with the reception from Christensen. Well, he had all day to throw the ball.
Yeah, he did, and I don't know what happened. It might just be where we haven't wanted to be so aggressive because of their running game. We didn't want to penetrate too much upfield. But I'm surprised he caught that, and he took a shot when he caught that.
Well, he was rolling right and kind of threw back a little bit to the left, which is a tough throw.
That's kind of what you don't want to do.
Yep, Christensen on the carry. He's coming up gingerly a little bit, limping just a little bit. Right ankle might have got twisted just a little bit on that last tackle by Blake Kramer. Noah Dykstra. The Sam and Will linebackers for Coach Conrad. Another flag on the play.
I'd imagine that's holding, too.
On the carry, we do have a flag on the play.
Shermetta on the tackle, along with number 7, Tyler Trovinger. Number 20, the ball carrier, was Jalen Burton on the read option to the left.
Yeah, I'd imagine that flag it was thrown right away. And usually when it's right away, it's an offensive penalty. The defense doesn't have enough time to actually make a mistake at that point in time.
No, and plus the location, it was right in the middle of that line right there. So that's going to bring the Caledonia back 10 yards. And it's a spot foul too.
Yeah. So if it happened 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, it goes back 1 yard from there.
Yep.
Or 5 yards from there.
So it's a 2nd and 15. Ball's back at the 41.
Yeah, I can't do
Another
that.
penalty down.
That'll be on us. It'll be a neutral zone infraction.
I got to be honest with you here. lot of running for trying to catch up.
Yeah, and I think it's just because their best player, honestly, in my opinion, their best player is number 6, Eddie Kelly. I think they just want to get the ball in his hands. He has enough speed to be able to break one, and he's got enough power to be able to gain, get big chunks. But yeah, I am still a little interested in what they're trying to do here.
Kelly, the ball carrier, interior tackled. Tippins, Bordeaux, Boyd, Hellman, all in on the tackle. That's your down 4. Your linebackers, Blake Kramer, 5'11", senior. Dominic Shermetta, 5'11", junior. Noah Dykstra, the clones. I think we cloned the 3 linebackers. They're all 5'11". 2 seniors and a junior. Kramer, the lightweight on there by about 30 pounds. Little fake to the handoff. Motion going left. Incomplete pass out to the right.
I'm kind of up here. I don't mind their. I'm still trying to figure out what Caledonia is trying to do. To be honest, offensively,
it's kind of like a grab bag type of thing, really, Mike. Run to get the first down, like you said in the first half. Throw if you have to. But,
and I know the penalties got to have been throwing. I mean, the coach is usually thinking,
there's
man.
a high snap over the quarterbacks, over the punter's head, but he gets off just a booming punt.
Wow.
Oh my God! Did they get lucky on that?
Wow. Well,
that's a 45-yard punt off of a high snap over the head.
Yeah, that was
the best play they had all day, though.
Yeah, really. But kind of what I was saying before, though, Caledonia's offense, I'm a little confused, and I know it's probably the penalty he's been throwing. Usually a coach has a play or two. He's thinking a play or two ahead, like what he wants to run, and the penalty's got to have been messing him up a little bit. But I know if we get another score here, well, I know Koziak wants to put the running clock on this
Moffitt,
game.
the carrier, over that right side. And I tell you what, we got to give that offensive line a little bit more love here.
Yeah.
56, 6'4", 200-pound senior Justin Nunnery. You're the left guard. And I tell you what, I'd tip my hands over to the left guard with Gavin Hunter. Gavin came down as a junior last year, Mike, and played most of the season with us. And I tell you what, it just did a world of good. Instead of sitting, he played the whole season, and he's turned into a starter.
And he made the best of it because now we
Absolutely.
started.
Gavin going 5'9", 255. At center, Simon Cairo, he's 5'11", 210. Your right guard is Mason Hall. Mason played with us last year, 5'11", 180-pound senior. And the tackle, the 2-year starter, is Big Mike Bordeaux. He is 6'3", 245. Option onto that right side. That's Hunter Boersma, the carrier from Jackson, on the 2nd and 10 play. And Druziak on the tackle for Caledonia. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 on the 1-yard option read. Clock running down. We're 6 minutes and counting down into this third quarter.
Ooh, nice
pass. Complete.
Pass complete to number 8.
Wingjet.
Austin Wingjet.
That was a really
big
good
Austin
catch.
Wingjet. Another kid. I tell you what, I saw Austin come out of the weight room one day during the summer. This kid is ripped. I mean, he's got washboard abs.
Yeah.
Pat, his dad, good friend of mine, go back a long ways. His uncle, Brian Abdeck from Abdeck Landscaping. Tyree Jackson with the carry, gets the first down across the 30 down to about the 35-yard line.
I tell you, I'm
Dan Vandermine announcing first down, Mona Shores.
I'm very, very pleased with Tyree's running this year. And I was never expecting him to be breaking 60, 70-yard runs, but, man, he's just doing a heck of a job. He's doing exactly what you want.
Trap, Moffitt. Well, you watch the growth and maturation of Tyree from his freshman year. Mikey was 13 years old, and he's a young 16.
Yeah.
Asked to hand off and throw the ball. Really didn't run much. As a sophomore, ran a little bit more. Junior, getting almost a complete package. This year, Mike, really the complete package in the triple option spread for Coach Koziak.
Yeah, he's just, again, his growth has been amazing.
And not only the growth football-wise, but physically.
Yeah, the literal growth, yeah.
You know, he's shorter than your brother
unbelievable.
now. God, he's 5 inches taller than your brother.
Yeah, I'm
He's
6'2", and I look up to him a little bit, and I usually don't. I mean, I'm usually taller than most people I meet, and wow. I just watched him. I was standing right next to him when he was warming up before the game today, and he looks like a college quarterback, and at 16, I'm just like, wow.
Slant across the middle, across the 40, down to about the 35-yard line. Colby Burris, his third reception of the night out of the slant.
If I was Caledonia's coach, I would go to my defensive coordinator and say, when are we going to stop that play? When are we going to decide to stop that play? I think it's probably this 8th time we've Shores has ran it tonight.
So it brings up a 1st and 10 balls at the 35-yard line of Caledonia. Little fade going down the middle, number 8, down to the 5, touchdown, number 8, Austin Windjet.
Great
Gets
catch.
his first touchdown of the season.
That's awesome. That's one thing I love about what Koziak's doing with Mona Shores is Windjet just scored that touchdown, and everybody knew, and everybody went down there and high-fived him. They're still celebrating with him. I mean, that's a big deal to the whole team.
Great catch for Austin
not just
Windjet.
him.
I'll tell you what. Going to ask for a great kid, great family. We had a boy, Austin. Nice catch, son. Tyree Jackson is going to be the hold. Jake DeReamer for the PAT out of the swinging gate formation. The kick through the uprights with 4:05 remaining here. Your score now. It's your Sailors 40, Caledonia 7. Mike and I will be right back. Nick Davros, Mike Koziak back at you here. Youth Night, Sailor Stadium. And Mike, you made a comment. Overrated by Caledonia a little bit, you think?
I don't know if they got significant injuries or not, but this, or if we're just that good, this is not. They don't look like a ranked team to me.
Yeah, because last week before their game against Forest Hill Central, they were number 3 in the state.
Yeah, you know, especially, and maybe we're just really executing and doing a heck of a job and making them look, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes you play a team and they make you look worse than what you really are. But yeah, it just seems like, I mean, Eddie Kelly's really good. He's running really hard, but I don't know. I just don't see it.
Well, it's 1st and 10. Caledonia, ball's at the 26-yard line. And we'll start seeing some substitution coming in pretty soon, especially in the 4th quarter. But we're still in the 3rd quarter. Fake to Kelly. Quarterback's getting the ball. Christensen. Crosses the 30 down to about the 33-yard line. Tackled by the blanket of blue that we call it here at Mona Shores, that interior linebacker crew. Hellman, Tiffins, Bordeaux, and Christian Boyd, along with Blake Kramer, Shermetta, and Dykstra all in on the tackle, Mike.
You know, and that's just what you want to see out of defense. Just a swarming, hungry defense. Everybody wants in on the tackle, and I love it.
2nd and 2 after that gain of 8. First stringer still in. We'll probably see them probably the remainder of this quarter, Mike, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would imagine.
And then start subbing little by little.
That's the thing, too. We'd love to get a running clock. I mean, now we're only like 3 points away from it, so we can get a running clock. And
Bryce Boyd, the ball carrier on the jet sweep around the side, brother.
Which I think is good for them. The fact that they're in a conference now, they're always struggling. Not being in a conference, you struggle to find, to fill a whole schedule up.
Well, they haven't been in a conference since the old LMAC broke up, and when I was coaching at Muskegon, I mean, it was brutal for us to find games. We had to play teams. We had to pay teams to play us from the Detroit area when I was coach over there for 20 years. And it's tough, and it's good to see Catholic in the league. But now that league is going to change a little bit in a couple of years because Spring Lake and Fruitport have applied for the OK conference. So, schools are changing the dynamics. But here, the OK Black is as good and solid as can be.
Yeah,
we may have 3 teams ranked in the state, not sure 2 for sure. We're ranked currently tied for 8th. Muskegon, number 2 in Division II, behind 3-time state champion Brother Rice.
Yeah, and I think the OK Black is one of the toughest conferences in the state, if not the toughest. I think we had 4 or 5 teams in the playoffs last year.
Going to be a pass interference. Television, Comcast 96. Not only is your provider for these games every Friday night. Casey Lauren, friend, working with Casey now for 2 years. Casey's got his girlfriend here tonight. Glad to have her with us. But DSE Television is broadcasting a local sports show that I've been kind enough, or the word's not kind, they offered me a chance to do a sports radio show. I said, gosh, you really want me to do this? And they said, sure. So every Monday night, Ted Fricano is allowing us to use his venue. Fricano's on the lake, and we're bringing in local teams, coaches, and some players. And this Monday night, we're going to be head coach Shane Fairfield, some of his players, 4 of his players, and we're also going to have John Felsky, neighbor of mine and superintendent of Muskegon Public Schools, give us a little perspective on, coming across. He's a Bay City grad, has been a superintendent for a long time, principal, former high school football coach, college basketball coach, Albion College grad. So we're going to have John, Shane, and some of the guys at Fricano. So if you can join us, the show is aired Wednesdays, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Thursdays at 8 p.m., Friday at 6, Saturdays at 7. On DSE Television, Muskegon Comcast 96, it's your sports local television show, so stay tuned, everyone. And by the way, Jimmy John's is our sponsor of the show, even though we're having it at Fricano's. The venue is Fricano's, but Jimmy John's bringing you the Freaky Fast Plays of the Week. So we're getting some subs in, little by little, Mike.
Yeah,
I think
little bit.
Little by little.
I mean, we definitely want to hold Caledonia on this series here, and that's only going to be able to increase. I mean, the farther this game goes, the more our percentage of winning goes higher, and that's when you can start subbing some guys in. So they had a big play, but still Caledonia's not really doing anything different. They are mixing a little bit of their passing game in. They had that deep one on trying to get a deep pass where they got the interference call, but Eddie Kelly with a big run a couple plays ago, and then out there to looks like a zip or a jet screen.
Hellman and Smith on that tackle. Michael Smith, the speedster, seeing a little defensive playing time tonight. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 8. We're under a minute here in the third quarter. Kelly, the ball carrier. We got flags on the field.
Procedure, Caledonia.
It's going to be procedure, as you said, Caledonia. So we're going to mark the ball back 5 yards. So it's going to bring up now a 3rd.
Illegal procedure called against Caledonia.
3rd and 8. Correction, no.
3rd and 14.
3rd and about 14, Mike, you're right. That's those young eyes, Michael. Young eyes.
Yeah, it looks like they probably get one more play in on the quarter.
Quarterback bobbles the ball, fumbles a little bit. Christensen picking up, rolling to the left, throwing back to the right. Defender is beat, but the pass is alone, going through the outstretched arms. It brings up a 4th and 14. We're down to 22-9 remaining.
Wow.
And he is sacked, Mike.
Wow.
Nobody stayed back. Fullback bubbled out to the right a little bit.
Yeah,
Dykstra, Christian Boyd laying some serious sailor planking down.
And that gives us great field position. And when you throw deep passes like that, obviously you're going to have time for your receivers to get downfield. And when you have your backs that should stay in a block, vacate. And one of them actually just did a little swing pass, which was kind of like, kind of your safety valve, where if you feel heat, you can just dump it off to him, and the quarterback didn't even think about it.
Well, they basically went empty with no protection because you kind of bubbled up right there. Option.
Nice.
Number 2 to Deontay Moffitt. Moffitt hasn't had a lot of carries tonight.
No, and I think it was Caledonia really just was stuffing the interior, trying to stop it, and it's just. I know Coach Kozak said in halftime that he really wanted to get him in the game.
Well, it's a first down, Mona Shores. Moffitt on the carry. We're under 8 seconds, and we're probably going to let the quarter run out. And they do. Coach Kozak's calling them over. So that's the end of your first quarter. Your score on Youth Night is Mona Shores 40, Caledonia 7. Mike and I, we're going to be right back with you after this timeout. Well, Youth Night 2014 certainly has not been a disappointment for those young kids. I tell you what, they got the line to field to start the game. The team ran out between at halftime. Dan Vandermark spent a good 10, 12 minutes announcing the kids running down the track. Not only the football players, but the cheerleaders, the coaches, and that was a great experience. They'll probably run out on the field and help the players ring the bell. But we're getting ready to start the fourth and final quarter here at Sailor Stadium. Your Sailors up 40-7. Mike Kozak, Nick Gavros here. Moffitt, the ball carrier.
Yeah, it looks like he gain a one. Looks like he dodged one and avoided getting tackled in the backfield.
Well, you and I were talking a little bit. Yeah, we're probably going to start seeing some wholesale subbing now, Mike. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Because we got bigger fish to fry down the road.
Yeah, I would say this game is pretty much
in hand. Would you say the proverbial game in hand?
You don't want to take it for granted yet, but you want to get you want to get some of your starters out, avoid any injuries. You want to get some of your backups in to give them some experience.
Doris Roberson on the quick pass from Tyree. Coach Kozak talking to number 10, Austin Winjet there. Looks upset that Austin missed the block on that play. But, you still got to keep coaching, even though it's 40-7.
Yeah.
You still got to, you got to coach all the way to the end.
As soon as you give up as a coach, your players are going to give up tenfold. So, if you want energy out of them, you got to give yourself energy. If you want them to lighten up.
Fade downfield, incomplete to Austin Winjet.
I think that's Kozak trying to get that running clock, because it's nice to have the running clock when you start subbing guys in. And it's just because if things don't go well and Caledonia starts coming back, at least the clock still runs and it gives them less and less time.
Well, it's going to bring up a 4th and 10 for Coach Kozak. Offense balls at the Caledonia 47. I think we're going to see a quick kick.
See a little pooch.
Yep, little pooch kick. We saw that against Rockford. It's a high end over end kick. Take a nice little roll, but coming back, and it's going to be downed by Roberson, Doris Roberson downing it there. We saw the same thing down at Rockford, the little push kick, but there it was a surprise. This one, we had seen it last week, Mike.
Yeah, but still, they didn't have anybody back.
Right.
So.
But nonetheless, Sailors go 3 and out. Caledonia takes over the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. It'll be interesting to see what they do. They're just going to pound and hope to get out of here and keep the clock going? Or
maybe. I don't know.
Christensen, you're a ball carrier. Yeah, honestly, I guess I'm a little surprised. I mean, once you want to work on, okay, games in hand, I understand, all right? But once you want to try to work on another aspect of the game instead of getting out of here, because it looks like we're just going to throw in the towel.
Yeah, hopefully at least take one shot maybe run a first down, get a couple yards, maybe take a shot here, which looks like they're
fullback, Big Eddie Kelly going around that left side, and he's going to lose about
yards.
one.
I think he's afraid of throwing it and going 3 and out and giving us the ball back, but you got to try to do something. And it's again too. It's like we were saying earlier. If you're a coach, once you start calling conservative play calls and you're just trying to get out of here, well, so are your players then.
We're under 10 minutes, and a couple of scores now. Yesterday over in Caledonia, Coach Ryan Porniga, the fine athletic director here at Mona Shores, his freshman improved to 3-1 on the season with a 43-23 beating of the Caledonia freshman. Ryan's probably his last year. Intercepted on that pass. Number 7, Tyler Trovinger might go the distance. Nice. He run out of bounds at about the 15-yard line, but we got a late flag, Mike, thrown at about the 20-yard line on that return. Blocking the back, maybe?
Yeah, and even if it is, that interception will still stand, and that might be why we were thinking Caledonia is not doing anything fancy, because they kind of expected that stuff would happen.
They can't throw the ball, yeah. But I want to get back to those scores a long time. Athletic director Ryan Porniga, his last year, Cody's a freshman, and Ryan does just a great job. Doug Burris, his assistant, and team racked up a 43-23 victory. JV's head coach Latrell Watkins, assisted by Brian Sickinga, racked up a come-from-behind 29-26 victory to report to 2-2. And that wraps up the non-conference season, as this game does.
Yeah.
Conference season opens up next week for everybody in the OK Black. Mona Shores will host Kennewood Hills, Mike, and we got a special homecoming event coming up here. Tell us about your challenge to Mr. Donald McEwen of Farmers Insurance. Because, Don, I tell you what, buddy, we're going to call you on this one, and we're going to hold you to being on television with us.
Definitely. Yep. Like we said earlier, Don, generous donation helping keep to the program, just helping us get all the stuff that we need, and great big thank you to him. But we would like him to be. Hey, we'd like him to be up in the booth next week for homecoming. I kind of called him out. I think it was like week 1 when I first called him out against Celine. But I always wear my old jersey and my old varsity jacket on homecoming. So, and Don, I know he's got his jersey, and I challenge him to wear that. And I hope if he's still got a varsity jacket, he busts that bad boy out too.
There we go. Tyree Jackson on the gate, first string offense, still in. With the carry, and Mike, you brought up a point. Let's get that running clock going, but then let's sub at the same time.
Yep.
To get those other kids some, playing time, because those are the kids that make, the second and third stringers really make the first stringers what they are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the great thing about football is, in practice you got to go. Ooh, I wish you would have broke it, but in practice you got to go against your other team, and the harder that the second, third stringers work against the first stringers, the better the first stringers are. So, I mean, Tyree isn't Tyree without all the guys that he's got to go against the practice squad in practice, and they got to run great coverages, and they got to cover well to help him get his throwing down, and they got to do well on the defensive interior to help get his reads down. And those guys need to get rewarded as well.
Tyree's carried the ball 3 straight times. Do you think your brother really wants to get him in the end zone here?
Possibly.
Huh? He's got one touchdown already. He should be happy with that.
I know he really wants to get Moffitt involved again, and so far he has been. But
my only concern is I just hate to see a first stringer get hurt now in a game that's really wrapped up.
Yeah, and
and no matter whether you're a lineman, the hogs in the trenches that really do the grunt work. And any of the skill kids, but the game's in check. But nonetheless, clock's running down. We're inside 8 minutes. In fact, we're almost inside 7 minutes, Mike.
It's 4:10. I'd just go for the field goal. There's no point going for the touchdown. I'd try to, unless I don't know what he's.
It's over, Mike. I was over talking to Howie Clark, longtime scorekeeper, and the guys in the press box. DeReamer with the attempt is no good, wide left. So we got an unsportsmanlike, and I'm trying to figure out, the guys up there didn't know. I thought it was a delay game, but the official hadn't counted down yet either.
Yeah, I thought it was a delay game too, and I was going to say that's unfair because the secondary official was supposed to do that. It looked like Koziak was in the middle of the field, had a conference with the refs trying to get down what was to it. One of the players came out there, and it looks like maybe he just said something. Refs are very, they can be very
persnickety,
prideful, I guess. And if you even say, like, what are you doing? They'll throw a flag sometimes. I know.
Well, irregardless, the field goal attempt is no good. We're 6:32 counting down. It's 40-7, Caledonia with the ball. Motion to the right. Little jet action, quarterback Creek Christensen, and going nowhere. First string defense is still in, and I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you, at this point. We've got a lot of first stringers in, but maybe referring to here, we got some subs coming in right now. Hunter Boersma coming out.
Yeah, this is kind of how you do it. You don't just send a massive wave of your second string in, because that's when you'll start having some misalignments.
Yeah, and maybe we're trying to send a statement to the sports writers that, hey, West Coast, we're not a fluke this year. We played a formerly ranked number 3 team in the state, and we shellacked them pretty good.
Yeah, and that could very well be.
Christensen breaking loose. Christensen across the 50, down to the 40. He's tackled into Sailor territory, down to about the 32-yard line.
And that's another thing you don't want to see. I mean,
Elijah Wilson hawking him down from behind. Touchdown saving tackle.
Yeah, definitely, and it was good pursuit on there, but I don't know what exactly happened in the interior. If we're just starting to get complacent and realize that this game's in the bag. If this game is in the bag, let's keep the score the way it is. Let's not make it closer.
Yeah, exactly. We got a new fullback in there for Caledonia. That's number 21, Bailey Kinser, carrying the ball. So Caledonia subbing Mike as well a little bit, getting some of the kids some playing time.
Yeah, which they should too.
Yeah, because the game against Forest Hills was close, so
Yeah, and there's no point in getting. I mean, you got plenty of season left. You're down a little bit, and there's no point, getting any of your guys hurt.
Well, I was going over the rankings, Mike, and I'm going to have you read these here a little bit. Division II ranking going into tonight's game and projecting down into the future about, some playoff incomplete. Some teams might be in Division II, some might be down to Division. Why don't you go over the ranking going into tonight's game in Division II, which we're in right now?
Yeah, well, Division II, the Detroit Free Press has all the top 10 vote, and they vote on it. So you got Brother Rice at number 1 with 38 votes. Number 2 is Muskegon with 37 votes. So there's only one vote separates them, 1 and 2.
Which is a little surprising because Muskegon struggled a couple of times, and you got Brother Rice, who's a defending 3-time Division II state champion, and their quarterback is going to Michigan.
Yeah,
and he's back. Alex Malzone.
Yeah, Malzone. He looks really good. And I'm sorry, it's only 1 point, one playoff point.
Yeah,
separates
really.
The two, not votes. Lowell's at number 3, which I think they came.
And they're playing Puffer tonight at Lowell.
Yeah,
so there's big implications for Puffer because Puffer could lose 2 in a row right now and drop down to 2-2 in the year. And we have them coming down at their place, who your brother hasn't been since he's been here.
Exactly, and I know there've been some close games. I know that's the one that we really kind of want to get.
Well, I know Matt wants that one really bad.
Big time. Detroit Martin Luther King at number 4. They're 3-0. Wald West, Lake Western at 3-0. Yeah.
So, I mean, you got 4 teams in the OK Red in the top 10.
Yeah, the OK Red really is. When Muskegon kind of got out of the OK Red, you kind of thought, all right, well, you still had Hudsonville and Rockford in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But now Granville's really stepping up, and oh wow.
Well, we got a new quarterback in there, and that's number 13, Elijah Wilson. So Coach Kozak starting to sub, all new interior people. 77, Deontay Gordon is at 1 tackle. Matt Hurdle is the other tackle. Good to see Matt in there. Matt injured his finger, broken in a game last year at Muskegon. Good to see Matt. His mother, Michelle, was my physical therapist. We had my new knee and did just a great job. Part of the ORS group out there by the mall. And by the way, boy, if you got an injury, go see ORS. Michelle and her crew do just a great job. It's a pitch. Out there, Wilson making the pitch. We can't see that number there, but it's number 43. That's Peyton Lefevre getting the ball run out of bounds by that right side of Caledonia.
Now, while we got a second, I want to mention something real quick. This is a letter that actually just talking about our program and what we're building up to, and this was a letter that was actually sent to the superintendent and the school board, and it was written about after the Saline game. We were over there on the other side of the state, and the players got to go to the Michigan game. Now, it says it's written by a Tanya and Mike Stoll. Now, we have no idea who they are. They are not Mona Shores alum at all. They write saying, my wife and I have sat in the front on the 50-yard line at Michigan Stadium for more than 25 years, and they have witnessed many recruits visit the big house with aspirations of playing Big Ten football. Now, if you don't know, they have a special area on the 50-yard line. It's like the first 5 rows back where all the recruits sit, and that's where we sat. Well, they said, we have had the pleasure to meet many of these fine young men along with their families and high school coaches, speaking of all the former recruits. Now, today, your head football coach brought his entire football program to the game. A large group of seniors sat behind us. They were respectful fans and enjoyed the game. In addition, they were polite and engaged in conversations with others around them. In their 25 years, we have never met a group of student athletes at those that we've met today from Mona Shores. It is very evident that your coaching staff has had a significant impact on the group of young men. Keep leading tomorrow's generation. Congrats on last night's victory over Saline. Best of luck in the balance of your season. Mona Shores fans for life, signed Tanya and Mike Stoll. And that's just, I just thought that I just had to share it. I wanted to share it last week, but the game went by so quick. I didn't get an opportunity to, but I just think that speaks volumes for not only the coaching staff, but the whole entire the athletic department, the players,
the staff,
parents,
administration,
everybody.
Sailor Nation in general. I tell you, parents, you know, Mike brings up a good point. You're raising your kids right.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
You know, your family's a direct reflection on how you raise your kid. How, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you what, this village of Norton Shores is raising some first-class student athletes.
Yep.
And the key here word is students. First time, you know, first and foremost are students. But congratulations to Coach Kozak, his whole staff, Principal Jennifer Bustard, Assistant Principals Walt Galkowski. I understand Walt's going to be retiring possibly at the end of this academic school year. Joe Schaefer, Athletic Director Ryan Portiga. You know, it was a $17,000 trip.
Yeah.
And, you know, this letter is just literally the icing on the cake. So thanks,
it just
Mike.
makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, for sharing that with us. So a lot of second stringers filling in right now for both teams as the clock winds down. We're down 125 and counting. So, Mike, game in hand conference. Kennewa Hills is going to come into homecoming to start out the season. What do you think, buddy?
Well, I think first off, when you go into conference, it's a whole new season. Okay, we're still thinking playoffs. We're still thinking big picture, and we have 3 wins going into the conference, and that's going to be awesome. However, for teams, Bob will snap there. But for teams going into conference with unfavorable, I say when they're, you know, with losing records going into conference, they're saying it's a new season. You can go 0-4 and then enter your conference and win your conference.
Right.
So all these other teams, it's a brand new season for them. They'll be able to come in here. I wouldn't really want to come into Mona Shores on this. I mean, we got a lot of momentum build up right now. I really wouldn't want to come in our homecoming. However, we can't let the homecoming festivities get the best of us. You got to take them as motivators. All the other stuff, you know, and I mean, there's all this homecoming king stuff and queen and all the votes, the homecoming corps, and I don't know what they don't do floats anymore, but all this other stuff, you can't let it get away from you.
Well, tough non-conference schedule, probably the toughest in the state, without a question.
Yeah, I think Muskegon's got a tough
4 ranked
one
teams
too,
prior to the season starting.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 hiccup in a game we should have won.
Yep.
We look down in the conference, good conference. We got some flags on there. It's going to be probably face guarding
it looks like it.
on that one. But, Mike, let's go over when can everybody see this game? Because this is a game the parents are talking about because everybody's going to
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, you can see it DSE TV, Comcast 96. Either you're watching it on Monday nights at 9 or Thursdays at 7. A big thank you to Casey, our cameraman, for all the work he puts into this and setting us up and all the stuff we got going on here. So, yeah, again, Mondays at 9, Thursdays at 7, Comcast 96, DSE TV.
Make sure that you tune in. And also, don't forget, every Monday, I'm going to be at Fricano's interviewing local coaches, officials, players. Hey, I got the big superintendent from Muskegon Public Schools. He's going to join me, John Felsky. DSE TV Sports Local. Ted Fricano. Ted, thank you very much for allowing us to use your just incredible venue and probably the best pizza in town. Jimmy John's, can't thank you enough for sponsoring us. And, you know, it's a collaboration of things. Jimmy John's bringing you the freaky fast plays of the week. You can see the show Wednesdays at 6 and 9, Thursdays at 8, and Fridays at 6. And if you're not doing anything Saturday, hey, tune us in at 7 o'clock. DSE, Comcast TV, Muskegon, Comcast 96. Casey, great working with you tonight, and thank you. And thanks for bringing your girlfriend. She's a cutie, buddy. Hang on to that one. Casey's going to be with us for the remainder of this year, and then next year, he tells me, buddy, we're going to be, I'm just talking to my daughter, Angelina. They're telling me where she wants to meet me. You know what? I think my mouth is a little tight. I'm going to let you do a little play-by-play, buddy.
Thanks. I can't.
Yeah, you turn around. We'll break you in just right.
Oh, the big hit over the middle. You put all your, you put all the
Come on now, buddy. You can do this.
Rosters away, but it was a big hit up the middle.
Like you can see it anyways.
Yeah,
Right here. We don't have your glasses on.
Clock's still counting down as 15 seconds.
Eric
here.
Nelson in on the tackle on that play. I got it all for you, buddy. A lot of substitute people right in here. Pass across the middle, broken up nicely. Raphael Johnson breaking up the play at the safety. 13, Elijah Wilson back there. We got Steven Chartier at corner, number 15 in there, dad firefighter. In fact, Steven's brother Tucker playing for me. Tucker's just a great kid. And the Chartiers, wonderful parents. Tell you what, this is just a great place to coach at, enjoying it very, very much. Quarterback Christensen running for his life, and he's going to be tackled, and that's going to be your ball game. Your final score on youth night. Sailors improved to 3-1 on the year, Mike, with their only hiccup to Rockford. Your final score here, it's Mona Shores 40, Caledonia 7. We will be back with you next week for homecoming, Mike, where conference action starts. Kennewick Hills is the first conference game of the season for us.
Yeah, I'm really excited for just the homecoming, and I mean the crowd's just been amazing, and it's going to put a little more people here with it being homecoming and everything. But I'm really excited to see how we're going to handle the conference. Kennewick's a good team. I know they're going to come ready to play, and I'm looking at it ahead. I think we got a really good shot to win this conference, but we're going to have to go through some major obstacles. And if we can win all the games going into Muskegon and have it be a conference showdown week 9, that would be that'd be a dream come true for me. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So for Mike Koziak and Don, I'm calling you out one last time. Mike Koziak has laid the challenge out for you. Don McEwen sponsoring the season this year from Farmers Insurance. Don, again, thank you. We look forward to seeing you, Donnie. If you could get here tomorrow, next Friday, 6:15, 6:20. We're going to get you on TV, buddy. So once again, from Mike Koziak, this is Nick Davos signing off. Your final score, Mona Shores 40, Caledonia 7. We'll see you next week.